Welcome to Palace of the Core. My name is Stephen Dawes, and this is the video that I promised you the other day about my analysis, shall we say, of the two seasons under Patrick Vieira so far. I know this season's been a bit disjointed, and we didn't have a very good pre-season, but I'm going to be trying to think about both of these seasons and where I think we are at the moment. Now, of course, Patrick Vieira took over at the beginning of last season, and there was a huge number of changes. A lot of the older players left. We had some new players coming in, including Conor Gallagher. And I think a lot of people, including myself at the time, wasn't entirely sure how that first season was going to go. I remember saying at the time that I think it's going to take time. I think it's going to be a process. And certainly a lot of fans were saying we need to trust the process and we need to just, see how things are going to go. I, as well as a number of other Palace fans, were really surprised at how well we played last season. Certainly the first half of the season, we were playing some really good football. We were scoring goals. We were playing really well, and I was really surprised, to be fair, because I thought that it was going to be one of those seasons where we're going to be bedding in and we're going to be learning and things like that. I think there were elements to that team last season that I think helped us to achieve that kind of thing. Obviously, Conor Gallagher was a huge, especially in the first half of that season, a huge influence on the team and did a huge amount of work, and covered every blade of grass. We talk about James McArthur. I think he as well was another player who covered every blade of grass, was really good in the middle, really defensively, and moving forward was a good conduit in the middle there. And I think that is one of the reasons why I think we had a really good season. We had Gallagher in there, who was running up and down, creating chances, making things happen, linking up really well between the back and the front. You had James McArthur, who was solid in the middle there. He was stopping things from getting through. He was also making some good passes. You had Kouyaté, who I think a lot of people underestimated. I think the influence he had on the team. I thought he actually, with him and McArthur in the middle, I think they really gave Conor Gallagher and the others in the middle the opportunities to go forward and create things with having that solid base in the middle, that solid core to the team. I think that was a really good thing to have. Obviously, we had Anderson and Gahey. They were just in for the first season, but they were playing really well. I just think that it was that combination of players that was really making it kind of work for us, really. And obviously, we had a very familiar formation. And this season, however, things have changed. Now, of course, there are some things that have happened completely out of Patrick Vieira's control. Conor Gallagher went back to Chelsea. That was completely out of our control. James McArthur has had a long-term injury, again, out of Patrick Vieira's control. Kouyaté, I think we should probably have tried to keep Kouyaté. I think we underestimated the influence and the presence that he had in the midfield there. But he went in the end. But I think he would have been a very good player to have still had in the middle there with Doucouré. Him and Doucouré in the middle, I think would have bossed the midfield. I really do. I think that would have been a fantastic pairing. Now I know that Will Hughes has come in and he's a very good player. He does hold up the ball well, but for whatever reason, and I don't know what it is, Patrick Vieira doesn't seem to want to play him in the middle very often. I think he has this formation with the three in the middle and he wants Doucouré in there, but I think there's no room then for Will Hughes. You've got Schlupp on one side, or you've got Eze on one side, you've got Elise on the other, or you've got these two players who go forward, and then you've got no place for Will Hughes. Anyway, so I think that's one of the main reasons why we're struggling this year. I think we've lost a few players who had a very strong influence on the team. And you're also asking a lot of players who are in a position where they're going to be put under a lot of pressure. Doucouré has had a great season. I thought he's played really well this season. But a lot of the time he's on his own in the middle, and that causes a bit of a problem. I think no matter how good you are, if you don't have support in the middle, and sometimes he doesn't, things are going to get through, and that's one of the issues I'm having. And I think another issue that I think has happened this season is our trying to change our formation. Now I've said this before. I said this when Alan Pardew was the manager, and I was kind of hoping it wouldn't happen this time, but it seems to be happening again. When we try to change the familiar formation that we've always used, when we try to change that and do something different, we always seem to struggle. Now, of course, there are going to be exceptions to that. There are games that we've played in different formations that we've done really well. But in general terms, when we try to change the way that we play as a team, it always seems to go wrong in some way. We tend to lose games, or we tend to not quite be as effective as we were before. And I don't know why that is. I mean, other teams have moved to a different formation, such as the one that we're playing, and they've done really well. I don't know why previously when Palace have tried to do it, it hasn't worked as well. And I'm open to your comments on that, whether you think it's working or not, or whether you know there's a reason why it's not working. I think that this is one of the problems. The first season we were in a familiar formation. We had some good holding midfielders that were playing really well. We had Conor Gallagher, who was creating things, and he was running up and down the park, chasing the ball, doing all kinds of things. We don't really have those types of players in the team at the moment, and that is one of the problems that I think we have right now, and hopefully that will change in the January transfer window, or maybe even next summer. I think probably going to be next summer more than anything else. I'm hoping that's something that's going to change, but will it? And that is the problem I think we're having at the moment. Whether Patrick Vieira will, I think Patrick Vieira is one of these players, one of these managers, I think he wants this system to work, and I think that he's going to be determined to try and get the team to work in this system. But I think we need a prolific goal scorer. We need someone who's going to bang in 20 goals a season. We definitely want that. But we also need the people to put those chances in the players' path. We need players that are going to be crossing the ball in. Sometimes we don't cross it in, perhaps in ways that I think we should be doing. We don't cross it in enough. Sometimes we don't challenge the back four enough of opposing teams. So there are little things I think that we can improve on. Obviously, this is just my opinion. It might be completely wrong. Let me know in the comments whether you think it is or not. But I think that these are some of the issues that we're having in terms of trying to get the team working in the way that we want. Now, whether we can turn it around, whether we can start to win games, whether we can start to dominate games as well. There have been times when we have dominated games. There have been times when we haven't, and we've still won. So I think it's very difficult. And I think that what Patrick Vieira is trying to do is give us the tools to work with any particular team that we face, which is fine. And I think that's a great thing to do. Is it going to be working though for us? Is that kind of strategy going to work for us? I think that's something that I'm still thinking about, whether it's going to happen or not. I still want to trust the process. I still want us to believe that we can be the team that Patrick Vieira thinks we can be. But is time running out for him? That is the situation. Let me know in the comments. Is time running out for Patrick Vieira? Are you thinking now that, let's just wait and see what happens for the rest of the season, see what happens during the summer break, whether we get any more players in, or are you thinking that maybe time's up for Patrick Vieira? Let me know down in the comments as always, and don't forget to subscribe and click that bell for notifications.